Hi everyone, today is Wednesday the 7th of August 2024. The sun is up. It's quite nice this morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and today I thought I would grease up the trunnions and adjust the brakes on George. Like I said the other day, George is pulling slightly to the left when hard braking, so I think just the old brake shoes up, maybe bleed the brakes, and definitely I want to grease the trunnions. I want to have a look at the shoes, see how they're doing. So I haven't used them for a few days now, so whoa, dead battery. Now that's strange, must have left something on. Very strange. Rightio. Now some people would say no, oh well, get your starting handle out. Well, problem there is I noticed that the starting handle won't fit through the new grille, so I'm just going to have to get my little jump start and we'll fire him right up. Well, we're connected up. And we're away. I don't know what happened there. I must have left something on. I normally turn off the battery isolator. Maybe I've forgotten. We will see. This is what I used to start many vehicles with this. It's been really handy. Definitely been worth the money. It's still full charge, so that'd work again if I need it. All's good, eh? I'll just get a voltmeter and just check what that's charging at, just in case. It's charging a good 14 volts. You could see it on that gauge there, look, charging just over 14. So all's good. Like I say, I don't know what happened. Very unusual to have a flat battery on George. Maybe I left the battery isolating switch on and something was on, who knows, but we'll see how we go with that. Right, I'll move the car down the drive and we will get on with having a look at the brakes. I'll just shut the bonnet. Rightio, there's the bonnet shut. It's going to be quite warm today, which is nice to get stuff done. But where I'm going to put this is out of the sun, which is good because sometimes it gets too hot when you're trying to work. I'm hoping to get a look at the front and the back shoes and definitely adjust the brakes up. The pedal is good. The pedal is quite hard and only moves a fraction, so everything's good there. But like I say, had that slight pull to the left when I was braking hard the other day, and also the handbrake's coming up quite high. I can adjust it on the cables, but I think before I do any of that, I'll just check that the adjustment in the actual wheels. So let's crack on now, get the front wheels off so we can grease up them trunnions. When I'm jacking up George, put the chocks under the back wheel. I like to put them both sides because the driver's slanting forward and you just never know, do you? It's got my axle stands under the front, so both front wheels are off the ground. So next I shall remove the front wheels. My impact gun to take off the bolts, but I don't use it to put them on. I sometimes use it just to whack them on lightly, and then I do them with a spanner because I don't want to over tighten them, and that's quite easy to do it on these little studs. Right, that wheel's ready to come off. Have a look round underneath, just check nothing's deteriorated. Because these cars don't need an MOT, you still need to check them over. And I saw a post the other day where someone's wheel had folded under the car where the trunnion had broken off. I've seen that several times, and I had it happen to me once. Usually it's because lack of maintenance, and obviously if you're not having an MOT, no one's going to find it out. Although the last time I took George for an MOT, when he had to have one, it was on a Saturday morning. There was a young guy in the garage on his own, so they do the MOT for one person. So they put it on a shaker plate nowadays, which is so vigorous I thought I was going to snap the wheels off, and I clearly don't think he had much clue about this suspension. All he wrote down on the sheet, heavily greased. But like I say, I was watching him and I weren't too convinced he knew what he was doing. So as for MOTs, unless you take it somewhere what knows about these old vehicles, there were several things he didn't know and he had to come and ask me. Him right from starting it. But hey ho, time moves on. Everything else I won't know much about the modern stuff going forward, especially now with this electrification and everything. See, this tyre's starting to wear. I'll need to check the tracking at some point, but I'm not doing that today. Right then, let's buzz this wheel off. These are great. Save you a good 5 minutes. Obviously my hubcaps have seen better days, so I chuck them on the ground, but I'll just stick a bit more black paint on them when they get scratched up. Right, so this wheel's ready to come off. I'll need 2 hands for that. We have done all this before on previous videos. These are obviously, some people call them kingpins, call them what you like pins. The trunnions are here. They're like threaded, so if you imagine that, twisting here in a thread, and it don't get greased, it'll get dry, it'll slowly rot it, wear through and snap off. I've seen them snapped here and here. Some people say a poor design, but I've seen ball joints done the same back in the 80s, early 90s, Fords, all sorts. So basically it's keeping an eye on everything. In the old days they used to jack the car like this, put a lever under the wheel, lever up and down, twist it backwards and forwards. Like I say, nowadays it's on a plate, they push a button, they glance at it and think, yeah, look alright. Hey ho. So that's obviously my track rod arm for the steering. So I'm just checking that. This link's here. See anything moving, I will put a bar under it when I get the wheel back on. But I'm basically having a good look. And like I say, we'll pump some grease in here and some grease in the bottom as we did before. And through this hole we can adjust these brakes. And we can have a look at the shoes. So I might even adjust them back and whip that off, just so I can get a good look at them shoes. Yeah, I think I'll do that first. We'll have a look at the brakes. Before we could get this drum off, we need to adjust them shoes back. I don't know if you can see in there, you can see the adjuster. Though this one seems loose, that's just touching. So I've just got to get to that adjuster, slacken it off, and then this drum will come right off. Right then, so there's that drum off. If you look, sometimes you get a bit of wear here, but that ain't too bad, to be fair on that one. A few cobwebs in there, look, which is a good thing because there's no leaks, no leaky fluid or anything in there. Showed you this before, but here's the adjusters. Put the shoe out, put the shoe in. That shoe there still got quite a bit of meat on. This one here is quite thin, look, but it's even, so it probably could do with some new shoes. It's getting quite low. Yeah, I think, let me just have a look in my spares. I might have a shoe to fit that. Just found this box in my garage. A couple of shoes in. They look like the right ones, don't they? What you have to watch with these is, depending on the year of the car, because it's the 62, it's the year they change. Some will have 7-inch drums, and some will have 8-inch drums on the front and 7s on the back. But this one seems like it's got 7s all the way round. You look, the inner diameter is a 7. That shoe looks exactly the same as that one. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put these both in. This is the side what's grabbing anyway. But what I'm going to do is take that one off. We'll just check it all up for sizes. And I'm going to put just one in because that one's hardly worn compared with that one at the bottom. And in your front brakes, you've got 2 pistons, cylinders pushing. So most of your braking, like in modern cars on disc brakes, most of the braking is done on your front brakes anyway. The back will have a single cylinder, but like I said, we've done all this before. Let's whip that shoe out and check it with this one, and we'll swap it over. Should really swap them as a pair, but that one's hardly worn and that one is. Maybe that was swapped before, only one, who knows. Actually, these look the same, but they're not. Can you see the difference? This one here has got a coat for the adjuster, just sitting like this, but this one hasn't. So why, I don't know. Maybe it could be a rare shoe. It might be different on the back, how they fix into the adjusters, or it could just be a wrong shoe. Looks right, but it's not right, if you can see what I mean, without the cutouts. So these, it could even be from something else. I'm not sure. So obviously I can't put that in here, because that ain't going to work on that adjuster. That's a bummer. So therefore, I think I'm going to have to order a new set of shoes for George. We'll have a look at the other side as well. Wonder if their backs, we'll have a look when we get the back off. They might be slightly different how they connect to the adjusters, but I think they'll be the same. Yeah, that's a shame, but never mind. Can't put the wrong shoes in. So I'll have to put that one back for now. Right, so I'll put the hub back on, or put the drum back on. Right, because this bottom shoe is so worn, on this bottom adjuster I can actually turn it to the highest point of the cam and then it'll click over. So that, just to prove that that shoe is so worn, I can turn it right round on the adjuster. So it's definitely got to be some new shoes for George. So we'll get them on order, we'll sort them out. But while we're here, I'll just adjust them up best I can and get these trunnions greased up. Here again, we've got the old trusty grease gun out, which grease nipple at the top, grease nipple at the bottom here, and as usual I won't be doing this because I'm getting grease everywhere now again. I'm just going to pump the grease into here till it starts coming out everywhere. Same with this, I'll pump it in here till it squeezes out of these joints here, and it'll also come out of the top here. So we'll go on with that now, and that'll be this side greased up. There's a new brake pipe we put on. Just check that brake hose, it's old but it's not perished or bulged, so that's okay. Right, I'll pump mine till grease will come out everywhere. I like to move it backwards and forwards in between greasing, but you can feel it's so smooth, so I know that's okay. I'll put my wheel back on this side. Yes, I've got to get some new brake shoes anyway, but see how easy I can move my steering. And I check for any movements I can see. Up and down, side to side, there's a little tiny bit of play, and I think it's up in that steering box or steering column rack. Bit of play in the rack, not a lot, but enough. Not enough to worry about. Listen for the wheel bearings, whether they're grinding or whether they're squeaky, they're all fine. I'm really pleased with everything on this one. It just makes me feel, hang on, see my tyres are starting to crack now. These tyres were new when I first got this car, so we're talking over 11 years. So basically he's going to need a set of tyres soon anyway. But it's all money, but for now I'll have to do. I put this on light. I can adjust this just to crank them on, and then I'll finish them off with my wheel brace, because I don't like I said, I don't want to over tighten them. I can't get them off, and I have seen these little studs snap before. So yeah, I'll just tighten them up. They don't need to be stupidly tight, just enough. Yep, that's that side done. Just do the same around the other side. We'll check those shoes. Right, on this side, if you look under this side, it's quite black, and that's because of the accident we have with the oil. It ain't done no harm actually, just coated everything with oil under this wheel arch, absolutely everywhere. Everything seems fine now, so I'm going to take this one off and we'll have a look at these brake shoes, and then I'll grease up these trunnions because they've been oiled up nicely. Side off, and it seems a bit oily inside, so whether some of that oil was going everywhere, it's got in here a bit as well. Seems to have got everywhere, doesn't it? So give that a bit of a clean with some brake cleaner. Let that run out, you can see how dirty it is down there. Look. But looking at it, I think Might be why it's breaking hard on the other side. I've just got some oil in here. I don't think these wheel cylinders are that old, as I remember changing them, but sometimes they don't last. But the main thing I'm looking at, as before, look at that bottom shoe, really thin. Just the same on this one. George definitely needs a set of front brake shoes, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to mess about anymore with that. We'll get this back on, grease up his trunnion. Side greased up, worked in. So we know we're going to need some new brake shoes, so I'll get them ordered next week, because I've got something else planned before then. Greasing up the trunnions I do every year at some point. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't do them that often, and I've heard other people saying they do theirs every couple of months just to be safe. But to me, I know when I do it, I can feel, and fingers crossed, that nothing will happen, because like I say, I have seen them snap off. Usually they'll be dry as anything, but since I've known this car, they've always been greased. So hopefully that's going to save George, keep him on the road and keep us safe. So I'm going to get that wheel back on, we'll drop it down, and we might as well have a look at them back shoes. They're going to be probably worn out as well. That's the trouble, things all wear out, don't they? But we need to keep him safe, that's the main thing. Like people says, oh, you shouldn't allow him not to have MOTs, because there will be plenty of people who will buy a car, oh, I don't need an MOT, and they won't do nothing. They might change the oil. But if we don't do these things, at least by doing them, we might prevent something happening. That's why I do it. So I'm going to have a cup of tea, get the wheel on, and we'll get the backs off. So them rear shoes are a different set. So these are part of a rear shoe set without the grooving, which would have been the top one. And then the bottom one would have a cutout for the adjuster. So obviously them two in this box were actually whilst mine are rear shoes. So obviously two were used for the adjuster side, and those weren't for whatever reason, I can't remember. I may have even got them like that, I just don't know. But them shoes, which they would replace, there's nothing wrong with them, hardly anywhere. So we're not going to touch them. This is how, when you move the handbrake, it'll move this up and down. It's nice and free. Nope, nothing wrong with that. We'll just give it a little wipe out of the dust and put that one straight back on again. Right, so there's the other side off. No leaks. Top shoe, same thing, look. Hardly any wear. Plenty of meat on the bottom one too. So nothing to do there apart from check whether it's moving okay, which it is, for the handbrake. So now all I need to do is just put that back on and adjust it up. Cool. We'll have a quick look at this fuel tank. This here is oil, which probably sprayed all the way back from when we had that problem with the oil spilling out. But this here, well, by the looks of here, that's from further up. See if I can get a bit of a closer look at that from this angle. What's going on here? I can't really see. I think it was coming down from up here somewhere. Oh, the tank don't look too bad, they're a shiny metal. by the way that was wet from here. It was from up higher up, way higher up. So I'm guessing, I thought it might have been this pipe. But at the moment there's no leaks, only when I fill it up too high, so I'm just keeping it low until I can sort that out, and then we'll get that tank exchanged. But that'll be when I can get one. Still waiting to see if I can get hold of one. At this moment in time it's not like dripping or anything, so I'm not going to worry. So if I keep it low like I have been doing, there's no drips, we're alright for the time being until I can actually find another tank. I was offered one but I haven't received it yet, so I'm still waiting. But I did say I'm not in any hurry while I'm here. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's a pity really, because where it is washed off, the tank looks okay, so I might be able to get away with taking it out and having a look at it and making a repair. But I'm not sure when I try and undo that fitting, that'll probably break the pipe, and I'll need a new fuel line as well. So yeah, that's going to be a bigger job in the end. So at the minute, while it's not dripping, I'm going to leave be and just keep it low. Bit near the exhaust, isn't it? There's the back wheels back on. Everything is good. What I need to do now is obviously my favourite bit. Yeah, take George for a little test drive. But I'll just move him up to the top of my drive first so I can put Bertie Bus back down here. No action. Right then, so let's give George a little test drive. Now before I say anything else, I'll say what I normally say. I'm no expert, I'm not showing anyone what to do, I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Obviously, George is going to need a little bit sputtery, but that'll be because I haven't used him. Yeah, so just showing you what I'm going to do, I've been doing. I've actually just got to pop down to work. Well, he shouldn't be pulling up alright, doesn't he? Yeah, so I've just shown you what I've done. I need some new brake shoes in the front, which I will order, and I'll probably make another video when I fit them. So as you can see, once George is fired up, warmed up, he drives absolutely fine. So we've got the trunnions greased up again, which is all good. Nice and light on the steering. And like I say, I like to do them at least once a year. That was good. Quite sensitive, I think, which is good because the other week they had you sitting there for a little while. Yeah, so we'll get some new shoes in George, get him all adjusted up, then I'll adjust his handbrake again at the same time. They're never going to be as good as a modern car. Rightio, obviously I've just popped into work for something, just a little test drive, all is good. And there ain't nothing else I can do now until I get them brake shoes, which I said I'll probably order next week. And that'll be it. So to be honest, it's just nice to get out in George for a little drive. Although I ain't been far, just pop down to work, check a couple of things. And it's just too hot to ride about today. Gemini, lay down girl. She has had a good run round the field, so that's good. But sometimes it's just nice to have a little check what's going on, check everything's okay, quick look underneath. The fields I'll get round to that as soon as I can, but to be fair, that's not leaking when I keep it low, so we're alright, we ain't got to worry. Seems to be pulling up pretty even now as well. So I'm back at mine. Thanks for watching, guys, really appreciate it. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.